Third time's a charm.
What were you saying?
Welcome to Zero Hit Points, everybody. It's June 4th. I'm Ryan Miller, and he was the one talking. This doesn't even make any sense anymore. We've lost the thread.
Because it's the third time, I really thought you'd actually go pull from last week and call me a triple frontier myself or something. But
oh, I've forgotten a lot of that movie already.
it's pretty, it's spotty at best, if I'm being honest with you.
No, we liked it, but
Still spotty at best. It's not memorable in any way.
No, because you were the one talking for one of the... Never in the history of this show have we had to do, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 intros.
Sure. Let's go ahead and say that. It's not like...
Due to no fault of our own, though.
It's not like anybody can prove that.
But all the others were our faults.
Well,
this was just...
I don't think it's a we fault thing so much as...
let's not place blame.
I'm not the host of the show.
Neither am I on Zero Hit Points, where we talk about video games. Because you have some, right? I'm hoping.
Okay.
Well, you know what? We'll talk about them. Whether or not they're ones we've played, I think might be the question at hand.
That's no question for me. Definitely played them before. And I've talked about them at length. I have nothing new to say about Mortal Kombat.
Oh, has that been the game of the week? So okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, we'll come back to that. That has been in the news.
It will circle around to it.
Nothing to add to the gameplay or just give me a quick rundown of what you're doing. What are you grinding on?
Okay, I actually am in a grind situation now where I did not understand a number of things about the crypt, and finding out all the stupid crap that's in there, I am not going to lie. I think I don't know how they screwed up the crypt too, but they the whole thing is... Everything about this game is a step back, in my opinion. I'm so bummed out in so many respects.
Wow.
The crypt is novel, but there's a whole mess of, secret things that you're supposed to find and do. Doesn't tell you anything about how to find it. You just get a thing, you click on it, it says, this might be a clue. Might be. Great. There's an entire section where to get into one part of it, you have to get these 3 amulets, okay? One of them is the easiest one to get. You donate money to the shrine. It's the first thing you get. Bam, you're done.
Okay.
The second one, no explanation about how to get it as far as I can find. I don't remember seeing anything about it. How did I find out about it? Oh, I accidentally got what I needed playing the actual game, doing fights and stuff.
Ooh.
So you have to go.
I don't know about that.
You have to go. And for every character, you have to perform 25 fatalities on each one to get their head that you put on a stake, which is how you end up opening up the very last part of the crypt.
Dude, I don't know about that, man. I like the idea on paper of stuff feeding into each other, but if there's no... if they don't breadcrumb you in that direction at least a little bit, that sucks.
I found out the same way, it was secret, accidental brutalities. I accidentally finished a game, and I got the head of one of the people, and I went, oh, okay, so that must be what I have to do. So then I went and grinded the head of Cetrion, got that, and that gave me her amulet. So the last amulet now that I need to get, no big deal. I just have to craft it at the forge, except it costs 10,000 soul fragments, which is the second most difficult thing to get in the game outside of hearts, which both of them take forever to build up, to the point where now I am actually grinding out these. There's this one Tower of Time that's kind of always there. It's just different iterations of how much, how many pieces of currency and what other consumables and stuff you get. It's just one of those towers of extra stuff. I'm seriously grinding that out with my AI fighters. I'm just letting my AI character do it, and then I come back every minute or every 3 minutes, come back and hit A so that it moves on to the next game.
Well, this is fantastic news because everything I've heard is apparently true, and I can still sell the game this week as I was playing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still I'm still going through the towers and playing it. I still have fun with it. I am just like, the crypt is disappointing. The new characters are disappointing. When we get to the next part of, we talk about Mortal Kombat, that'll be disappointing.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, that'll be a fun conversation.
Okay.
Then. It's, you know what? It will be emblematic, I think, because hearing you talk about it, you're like, you're having fun, but disappointing. So yeah, the next thing is going to be fun.
But disappointing. In significant ways for me personally.
I don't have a single video game, man. I'm still working on crafting. I'm also crafting some things with resources. One of them being my schedule.
Oh, good.
Now with the new job, and I don't really have a good thing cut out, because that's what I have to do now for things, is cut out time to do them. So I've kind of been, like I said, recreating my life over here. So no video games as of yet. I don't want to say, unless you count the phone things, which you don't count phone games.
I try not to count any games anymore.
Okay. None of them are new ones. It's just the Konami Pixel Puzzle, still hacking away at it. And
you know, here's why I haven't finished Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, probably not even close. And I'm basically playing Mortal Kombat.
You have no idea how not even close to the end of Red Dead Redemption you are.
No, that's part of the reason that I'm like, oh God, I still have such a bear to go, and I don't.
But you're at the point with the bear?
The game I've been playing has been it's crazy. It's a VR game called Real Life.
Sucks.
I can't. No, I'm in the same boat, man. Carving out time for video games has been difficult. Like, the most time I've been able to carve out for stuff like that has been where I can seriously, practically just sit down, do the AI thing. Like, I'll go through whatever the daily is to get my dailies, and then I let the AI stuff go, and I kind of come back to it while I'm trying to finish other things.
You're like, finally, something to play a video game for me.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
I'm so tired of challenging myself.
Just hit the button. More games need an autoplay feature.
Well, it gets to a point where for this particular thing that I want to do, like, like, if there's a tower that has something I want in it, I will absolutely do the tower. But there are times when the tower it's a Cetrion tower, it's a Garrus tower, I don't care about you guys. I don't care about half of the characters at this point. There
are different types of grinding. There are, if you think about it, a game, good games even, will have kind of an ebb and flow, right? Sometimes you need that downtime. The example that comes to mind immediately, and I don't know why, is the mining on the Mass Effect games, right? Like, it's not the thing you're looking forward to doing, but you do it to get the resources to then play the fun. Like, every game has something like that, and that's typically kind of a good kind of grind, or something that at least feeds back into it, whether or not it's in an oppositional type way or whatever. And then there's the game is done, and you're grinding to get more stuff, essentially. And that's, at that point, yeah, I'm going to hit auto play, whatever. I'm going to turn on the TV, which is a sore substitute, I think, because I'm still having to do something with the game, which I shouldn't. But yeah, so you're in that part. I don't envy you at all.
I am, and there is one or two things that are left out there for me to do. I want to finish out the achievements for this. I probably won't do the online ones, because why would I subject myself to that idiocy?
Because you don't hate yourself that much.
No, I really don't. And I don't care about getting all the achievements for that, but all the offline stuff I'll go for. I still haven't played every character, so I want to go through and at least do all their fatalities and brutalities and see them for myself instead of, watching them on TV. No judgment. But
I did that.
Yeah, no, I know. That's the joke. That's for everybody else. So, but there are a couple of other things to grind out that I'm actually really happy to grind out, more than, because it's more time with the game, getting some of the character endings.
There's a right way to do that.
Right. No, and this has such a weird, like there are aspects to it that work well, and there are aspects that don't. One of the things with the towers that does actually kind of frustrate me is, like, I'll find a character, I'm like, oh man, I really want to go get those skins, what have you, whatever comes with it. I can almost guarantee I know exactly what the towers are, and I know that one set of towers is always going to have that character interrupting the fight. They're like they're an add-on for the AI, so I know that character is going to show up. If it's the next tower over, that's going to be either one of two things. It's going to be either a single fight that's going to be in hard mode where there might or might not be a modifier, or it's going to be another set of towers with more modifiers. That's it. The middle one is always going to be Gauntlet, which I'm never going to do because why? I don't have any interest in doing that. That's stupid and boring to me. That's for people that are like, I want to practice my combos and be really, really good at this game and just prove how good I am. Those people are awesome. I'm not those people. Then there are character towers, which you have to purchase to open up, and then you have to purchase more. You have to pay more stuff as you get higher up in the tower levels.
Ooh, purchasing. Just hearing you say the word.
It's so much fun. And this is my favorite part. The stuff you purchase with, it's not just the coins. You have to purchase things with hearts. The hardest thing to get in the game, which
Love
is
it.
only the only two uses for them are that and these chests in the crypt that cost upwards of minimum 100, usually 250. I don't think I found anything over that yet, but to get like 250 hearts, that's a lot of time, because at most, if you're hitting, you're going through the tower, when you hit the tower, like you finish it, if your totals hit the highest level of the total, you get 5 hearts.
Whoa!
Throughout each match, you'll get between 0 and 3, as far as I can tell. Maybe 5, depending on stuff that I'm not real sure about. But I've never gotten any more than 5, and that happens very rarely. It takes a really long time. Really long time.
Man. That's a real bummer that's all. I wonder if they do the WB thing and roll it back at some point in the game.
No. This is I agree. This is what they're going to do. And the bigger bummer for me is now I can't, in good conscience, I can't pre-order, which I would. This is like NetherRealm was one of those groups that was like, I'm going to get their game and I'm going to pre-order it and I'm going to buy it.
It's true, man. This is a big change.
They don't get that after this. And straight up, like usually I'm more of okay, I'll give them one more game, 2 more games, something like that, because who knows? This is NetherRealm's bread and butter. They have been iterating on this same thing for years. They iterated in a way I don't want to see, and they're going to do it in the next Injustice game, and that's going to just piss me off. Because they are going to ruin...
Yeah, I wonder. Because they know this is being received poorly by people that really care.
They are going to ruin that game. They are going to do I promise you, 3 years from now...
That would be an even bigger bummer.
No,
it's not even 3 years. They do this. They're not yearly. Yeah, no. Injustice 2 was last year, wasn't it?
No, 2 years ago at minimum.
All right. Sure.
Let's find out here.
No.
May 2017.
Okay, sure. Either way, I mean, I don't know. It's worthless to get or even try to get inside the head, because
and the thing is, like they knew
want something that's a service, and why? It's not like these games are doing poorly. Like, they've had a pretty good run of pretty well reviewed games.
These games get tons of attention from the fighting game scene and all that. But no, I think that it's funny, because this is totally what I have to wonder, and conspiracy theory me all you want. I'll grab my tinfoil. I don't care.
Here we go.
I have got to wonder, and I think I even mentioned this before, if this wasn't the intended state and they biffed everything up at the beginning so they could roll it back to what they wanted. Because it doesn't, like, this is...
Oh, yeah, like developers and or publishers are just counting on that nowadays? Sure. Absolutely. Okay, we're going to do this. It's going to be a little bit more than we think we can get away with, but guess what? If nobody says anything, we'll keep it in, right?
Right. No, it's the
least tinfoil thing you've ever said.
But the thing is, like, they did, thinking back and looking back at what they didn't roll anything back. Like, the only thing they did, they made things a little easier, and then they gave us a
little bonus one time,
a little bit of currency, which, knowing what I know now, if I knew back then, I would have said, are you kidding me? We need twice that, because this crap is gone. Those hearts, 500 hearts, that was 2 chests, gone.
So dumb.
Whatever you got, I don't even remember how many soul fragments you got. It wasn't many, maybe 1,000.
Hey, from where I stand, we're losing soul fragments.
So are you kidding me? Every time I boot that game up, I'm like hate punching myself in the testicles.
Like, how do I have less soul fragments? Oh, because of my soul. Also because of Shang Tsung. But we will get to that a little bit later.
We'll get to that Shang soon.
Oh, dang it. And that, my friends, is how you don't talk about Mortal Kombat 11.
For 20 friggin' minutes.
You did mention bears in Red Dead Redemption. I could mention, because this wouldn't be pertinent to our final conversation of that game, I did find what I think you refer to as the hide-a-bear.
In the tiny little, you're going down one of the roads, and then just off to the like right or left, there's a little cabin, just a tiny little cabin. It's a shack.
Yeah, that found him. I didn't hear him this time though. Your story was better because you were looking for him because you could hear him. I didn't hear anything. I just saw this shack and was like, okay, going into the shack, and it's still an amazing chance because if you had approached the shack from behind, the thing is completely blown out because the bear has torn through the back. And I don't know, maybe it's not if you do approach it. Maybe you only see this if you come in through the front door.
I don't think so.
But I came in through the front door and freaking bear immediately. I screamed out loud and he's on you. So you have to kill him with your knife if you can't even do that. And the whole back of the house is blown out from the bear that came in. There's I think 1 or 2 dead bodies sitting around and oh, fantastic moment. Though.
Great moment. That was so terrifying and I totally yelped. I totally, no doubt.
So yeah, we'll save the rest of Red Dead for that day, their day. And you know what? I'm struggling if I should tell you this about the end of the game because I feel like it might have affected my enjoyment a little bit.
I want to hear it then. Tell me.
The last 25% of that game is epilogue.
Okay.
So basically you think you've rolled credits and you have 25% of Red Dead Redemption 2 if you want to... Okay, I mean, the popular argument that I would probably agree with is that the game needed to end 25% earlier. So you could technically...
just stop
there and we probably wouldn't have much more to talk about. There are 1 or 2 sequences that I would say it's worth playing for.
I guess the question is, how long is that 25%? Is it
think about the first 25%.
But I mean,
Oh, it's so your save reads. Oh no, sorry, it's not your save. You can find your story progression in the menu somewhere.
Yeah.
So it'll tell you how far you are through just the story.
Right.
When you get to 75%, you've got 25% more to go, my friend.
Cool.
I think it'll help knowing that because if I'd known that, I wouldn't have been like. Every mission was the last mission type thing. And I'm like, I'm not done.
Why is this never ending?
Yeah. So that's those games.
All right.
Let's talk about the ones we haven't played. Lots of big game announcements this week. Which of these big game announcements do you want to talk about first? Huge game announcements. For you.
The biggest one?
Oh, okay.
I don't...
So Ghostbusters, the video game, is coming back with a modern console remaster.
It sure is. I watched that trailer.
And
is that really the best they could do for a remaster?
Did you never play it when it came out?
I absolutely
360,
did.
Right?
No, I did.
Did you? Okay.
Oh yeah, I finished it. I mean, Nathaniel and I played that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I always wanted to. Heard it was marginally worth it. I heard it was worth it for everything but the game stuff, basically.
Okay, so Nathaniel and I played it not together because I think it was, if I remember, it was only single player. But we were both really big. We talked about it a lot.
This says there's a co-op option to it.
Then maybe we did do it co-op.
Cooperative multiplayer.
Maybe we did. I remember the gameplay, and I remember that for half of the gameplay, I actually enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. Like a lot of the stuff with the the beams and stuff was cool. But there were definitely clipping issues. There were character level issues where those things where you're like, I should be able to get there. I can get there, but there's one little rock in the way, and for some reason,
amazing.
And it's not just that you can't jump over it. It's like there's an invisible rock attached to it somehow. There were things like that
on purpose.
There was
you're not just running up against the geometry.
No. That's it. It's geometry. That's the thing. Okay. I don't mean it's like a ghost. I mean it's a ghost in the geometry.
It's a ghost.
And I
Spooky.
I can't remember if it was because I was going for achievements at the time, which I may have been, but I seem to remember thinking there was a part in a graveyard, and I think it's towards the end of the game, that became infuriatingly difficult.
Oh,
like
I want to say some of the achievements were glitched, actually, like unlockable.
Infuriating.
Unlockable, not unlockable.
I don't know. I don't remember if that's why. I just remember being infuriated by it.
Well,
but overall,
you can do that all over again if you want. Apparently, coming up here.
Overall, though, the story for that was cool. It was written by Ramis and Aykroyd,
which is I want it for that. Even if you can hear them deliver some of their voice lines in there. It's not, it's Harold Ramis.
For Ramis and Aykroyd, they put in effort. You still get what they're trying to.
Aykroyd is the standout.
Oh yeah, well, because he's the one that's also been pushing forever for the
yeah,
threequel.
That's true. You can tell he believes in this stuff.
But Ramis puts in the time. Ernie Hudson's fine. Bill Murray is the one you can tell they were like, we're gonna get him to do this by telling him. And I think this is actually the story. They told him, this is the third Ghostbusters. We won't ask you about it anymore. And they gave him like a dump truck full of money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was like a bribe thing. It wasn't like he wanted to do it. He was bribed into doing it. And you can tell.
That's a bummer because famously he trolled them forever. Like was sending Ghostbusters 3 scripts back to them burnt in a pile, and stuff like that. And it's Bill Murray. So, he's doing it in that lovable, goofy kind of way.
Or he's very, very serious about it and nobody's really sure. But he is the one that when you play the game, you could tell he's sitting there like if he smoked, which I don't think he does, but he'd be sitting there with a drink in his hand and he's like, okay, what's this line? I gotta say, Egon, watch the goo. Okay. Egon, watch the goo. Here's the second one. Egon, watch the goo. Third one. Egon, watch the goo.
It's better than that. That's what I was expecting, but you watch the trailer and it's not so bad, but yeah, you can definitely tell.
No. When you're playing the game and you hear you can especially now, when Bill Murray is on and doing and being in care and being on screen, and you can tell when he's like in an interview and he's just being kind of goofy. This is the interview thing where he's not being quite as goofy because he had a script that is hit or miss, but it's worth.
And yet I can't get mad at him.
No. It's
I can't.
It is for a Ghostbusters fan, 100% worth playing. It is. It is probably it is at this point now the only Ghostbusters 3 you're ever gonna see. Because
I thought there were some rumblings again. Or
no,
something.
You know what? No, it's one of I don't care. You can make Ghostbusters
no
3,
Ramis.
but no Ramis. It's done. And Bill Murray will not do it without Ramis. So.
And probably shouldn't, honestly.
No, 100% shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, okay, so there's one big game announcement out of the way. What about 6 more at once?
Okay.
Did you play, have you ever done Planescape Torment Icewind Dale? Is that correct?
I did not play Icewind Dale.
Is that a character?
No, Planescape Torment is one game. Icewind Dale is another.
Really?
Yes.
It's not just the friendly guy.
Icewind Dale.
Oh, here comes Icewind Dale. What's he been doing?
Yeah, yes, there is a guy.
Out on Planescape.
Icewind Dale. Baldur's Gate.
1 and 2 enhanced editions. These are all the enhanced editions.
Neverwinter Nights.
Those are them.
Yeah, so I played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I never really played Neverwinter Nights.
I get it.
Did not play Icewind Dale, and I did play a little bit of Planescape. I never went through the whole thing, even close.
So no real, you're not jumping out of your seat for this thing, some of them hardcore fans of the very respected and revered games, all of these, most of them. Baldur's Gate, I feel like, is the one you hear about most often than not. But
these are games that, oh man, are you kidding me? I would absolutely. I play them on the PC first of all, but
yes, these are console editions, by the way.
I would absolutely love to play them. These go back to that. I can't even finish freaking Red Dead Redemption, and these are 3 times that. Mm-hmm. So
that's why I brought. Normally we don't do game announcements all that much because I feel like I would rather talk about games we've played and have that discussion. we don't really have that this week. So I'm like, hey, guess what we get to do? So
talk about games that we can't play.
Right.
Because we don't have the time for them either. Good.
A girl can dream. Would you dream about Ghostface coming to Dead by Daylight? You play that game. You like it.
I do. I like it. I like it a lot. I haven't played it in a long time, and now there's so many differences now.
Really?
They've changed so much. The end game is totally different now.
Really?
Characters and perks have changed. Ash is in the game. We know that.
That's about when you dropped off, I want to say. Wasn't
No,
it?
I dropped off earlier than that. Yeah.
Okay.
Significantly earlier than that. The end game is a huge change that I still don't know anything about.
Well, so are you excited about that then? Or
no, I'm actually kind of terrified about going back to it because it is essentially at this point going back to a brand new game for me, which I don't know that I want to put in that time, honestly. Which is again, it's a disappointment, but dude, I just don't know that I can. Like I only have finite time and energy. And there's just so many things going on right now and things that I also want to do that are, as for Ghostface, I can honestly say this is a good pickup for behavior and for Dead by Daylight. As a killer, I'm not super into it. It's
not the reason you go to those movies. It's not even the takeaway really, which he was great in those. Like
it's an iconic,
even
it's
retrospectively,
an iconic look.
It kind of, yes. And that too. Because you could buy that at the store. You could buy that at the store before the movie came out, right? Yeah. So,
but I think the issue and actually, you know what? That's something I hadn't even considered, but I also kind of don't like, is that Ghostface was never one person. It was a bunch of different people. So I mean that's kind of silly, and so I don't know. Is whatever. People enjoy it. It's cool.
It had Dead by Daylight on it, so I figured I'd run it by you.
Oh, no, thank you. You ran very quickly.
And now the Mortal Kombat thing. I'm so excited. I passionately liked that story, and now they're doing character trailers. So what more could I possibly want? I'm selling the game this week. They released a trailer for the first combat pack.
Yeah. This trailer starring Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, returning in all levels as Shang Tsung. It's pretty cool when he turns into young version of him and it looks just like him.
It is amazing. Like this is not the disappointing part.
No, not at all. Shang Tsung, I'm not disappointed by the character at all.
The character is awesome. The trailer about him is awesome. He turns into Sub-Zero. Like it's amazingly fan servicey.
He turns into Sub-Zero, Reptile, Rain, Scorpion,
Smoke, Rain, and I didn't know this. The red one. I've only known the red one,
Ermac,
from Mortal Kombat 10. I didn't know that was Ermac.
Oh, Ermac's been around for a little while.
I know he has. Like I remember when the palette swap actually happened. I didn't know that was the same as the character from 10.
You know the whole story behind Ermac, right?
Oh, I will know it when you say it. I never know which palette swap story to attribute to which color.
Well, this one was more than anything. I think the name even came from a bork up in
really?
In the code, where I'd have to go look this up, but if I remember correctly, it was an accidental palette swap that would happen occasionally, and it would pop up a thing that said Ermac, and Ermac is short for error macro.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it became this thing where it was like one of those, at least for me, as far as I knew, it was one of those rumors that just spread throughout, like the arcades. People were like, "Oh, have you heard about Ermac?"
Right? Yeah. Mortal Kombat always had those,
and there was no such thing, But everybody was like, "Okay, well, Reptile's in the game, so what about Ermac?"
That's cool. I did not know that, and I feel like I heard that. I knew he was the red dude at some point, and then must have forgot his name because I just completely divorced him from the guy that was in. He was in 10, right? Ermac was in 10, right?
He was in 10, but he also did not have the ninja. I don't think he had the ninja costume.
Yeah, no, he had like a different getup and stuff. He didn't just have
I think he had the Pharaoh look.
Yeah, here he's just palette swapped looking, like they all.
Which by the way,
Sub-Zero.
I don't care. It's what I want. Give me just classic costumes. I never want the new stuff. Stupid, I hate it.
I like to see the new stuff.
I like to see it.
Yes, always give me the option to go back to the old thing.
100%.
That's what I'll do. But yeah, the whole trailer with Shang Tsung was awesome. At the very end, like his little thing he says at the end. Did you catch that?
Your soul is mine.
Your soul is mine.
Yeah.
the exact shot from the Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic.
It's great. It's really good.
And then the disappointing part showed up.
I'll let you take that.
So after they announce and give him the character trailer, which is he's the first character coming out, he goes into early access the 18th. Is that right?
Sure.
I don't remember. I think he comes out on the 20-something.
June 18th, Shang Tsung will be released.
Okay.
For Combat Pack owners.
Right. So there's the quote-unquote early access. But then they talked about the rest of the characters. One other character I am actually kind of excited about, which is Nightwolf. I liked that character a lot. It's disappointing that they've kind of abandoned both babalities and animalities, especially with Nightwolf, because the whole animality thing was super like cool for him. But I really liked that character anyways, so I'm kind of excited for that. But everybody else, Sindel, Spawn.
They didn't show it. Like, I'm gonna be interested to see Spawn in action.
It's a character. This goes back to that thing that we talked about when X came out, which was I hated that they brought Jason and Freddy and Leatherface and I hated that. That's stupid.
Alien. No,
that was so dumb.
I like their left field choices, but again, I just like watching the trailer. You call me a purist, whatever. I hate that they don't fit the game. Like, they're so dumb in the game. And I got you.
And I don't know. I know that there are characters that I want. I am one of those people. Yeah, I want Reptile. I don't know why Reptile's not in the game. It's real stupid. He's in the freaking crypt in the dumbest way. I will say this, kind of cool.
Shang Tsung turns into Reptile.
No, Shang Tsung doesn't turn into Reptile.
He does. He does in the trailer. It's the quickest of all of them.
Yeah. I'm talking about in the crypt. In the crypt, they harken back to the movie again, where when you get to this one portion, there is a slightly translucent reptile, but in the reptile form from Mortal Kombat. So it's just like in Mortal Kombat when he the first time he says, "Hey, reptile," and then he comes back and it's shaped just like him. It looks just like him. And
what if that was a skin for? Why have they never made that a skin for? Like,
he was for a while. He could one of his powers was you could become invisible. But
I know, but be the weird looking whatever the heck that is.
Because then you'd
from
be
the movie.
Because how fair would that be? Because then you're like a full size guy fighting a guy trying to get you better car insurance.
Just throw him into a statue, man.
Then he's a green reptile man.
Bingo.
Yeah. So I that was cool. And when you inspect it, he turns into more of a reptile, like the Saurian version that we're kind of now used to seeing. And he disappears, and so you have to run around, and to find him, you have to wear Kenshi's blindfold, which also, by the way, takes soul fragments.
Wait, and they just
tick down as you wear it.
Ooh,
because you're in the soul realm. He only shows up there. He's very fast, and you have to be able to hit him with your hammer, which is super slow, to get you get some skins out of him and some money, I think. So real stupid.
I'm not feeling that.
No, there's a lot. Again, I am really glad I only paid $30 for the version that I got.
How'd you do that?
You were with me, Wangus. I sold all those games to GameStop.
Probably true. Oh, right. Yes. You paid in blood. I thought you meant that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay. The huge game announcements just keep getting huger from here on out. Contra Anniversary Collection.
Here's my only thing with this, and I don't know. You can tell me.
Okay.
Is there online co-op?
I don't know if that says, actually.
Because if there is no online co-op, this is a waste of my time and money. We should not talk about it.
There should be. Absolutely should be. I mean, on the Xbox Arcade Contra, there was online co-op, right?
Dude, people do dumber things than this. I'm just saying.
True, and it's Konami. They barely make games anymore.
They don't make games. They just re-release old games.
Touche. The game list here, pretty good though. Contra. I mean, it's funny in a way, because of the different versions they got going on here, but they got Contra for the arcade, Super Contra for the arcade, Contra for the Nintendo, Super C for the Super Nintendo. Or no, wait, Super C was regular Nintendo. Operation C, Game Boy. Contra 3, Alien Wars was for Super Nintendo. Contra Hardcore, Sega Genesis. And then they went into regional variants like Contra for the Famicom, Probotector, which was for Mega Drive, Genesis in Europe, and Super Probotector. So they're bringing them all out, it seems, for this thing. But whatever. Contra Spirits, also on the list. Contra the Hardcore. Contra.
This is so these are games that, like, yes, I would pick this up. I would consider picking this up. Those were games that I played when I was a kid. I really enjoyed all of them. Playing them online with a friend would be good. That's all. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Moving on. It sounded like I had more, and then I just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, you're like, wait a second. I don't have any more.
I did. That's exactly what happened. I thought there was something else, and nope.
And then we moved on to Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. Have you heard of this game?
Oddly enough.
Yeah, so they're renaming the new one the old one. Here.
So Call of Duty and Modern Warfare, the old one?
Close enough. And there's plenty of write-ups out there. I don't know if some people got hands-on or if they just did some interviews. They released a trailer you can go watch as well. Maybe this is just an interview. Yeah, I don't think anybody's got hands-on. They might have seen some gameplay demos or something. In either event, they're talking up all the right points. In fact, maybe I can tell you who this number one dude from the Call of Duty is. Minkoff. I do not recognize the name. This is Infinity Ward.
Is he a character in the game or somebody in real life?
No, this is the dude.
Okay.
I'll look him up. Yeah, Minkoff. Jacob Minkoff, campaign gameplay director on the new Modern Warfare. So at Infinity Ward. And they're hitting, like I said, they're hitting all the right points. They're talking about modernity, or real world is another buzzword that they seem to love. I mean, okay. I don't mean to sound dismissive, but this happens every time, and it's maybe my least favorite aspect of games journalism, which kind of says something, which I don't know, call this journalism or not. They interview, and the interviewer just gets a bunch of talking points from the publicist or the publicist-trained campaign gameplay director type thing.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I never got that into Game Informer is because half of the article would be like, you arrive on a beach at midnight and something. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to hear the story of the game recontextualized through you in this article. Like, whatever. It's not what I'm there for. It's just my thing. In any event, they hit all those points here in this article. Same way, like, they're talking about real world stuff, gray areas, and they're talking about doing things that make you feel uncomfortable, which has been a staple of the Modern Warfare series, right? When Infinity Ward did Call of Duty 4, there was the moment where spoiler alert, you should still play all these games anyways, you died because of a nuke. Modern Warfare 2, they had no Russian, right? That moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they understand that. They understand that this is part of the franchise. We need moments that are kind of hard-hitting. They're talking about making it still more modern. These games were over 10 years ago in a lot of cases.
Modern Warfare. More modern. Moderner.
Even more moderner. Warfare.
Neo-modern warfare.
That's all nice and good. What I'm potentially more excited about, and it sounds almost accidental at this point, and yes, I guess I should have led with this, I'm going to get a little too talky about a Call of Duty game. I know a large majority don't care, and you're borderline glossing over at this point already.
What? I'm sorry.
You don't like the games as much as I do.
No.
It's okay.
That's fine.
We're all right with
it. Yeah, it's not affecting me.
But towards the end of that thing, he talks about being so real that they're, in a way, trying to get away from the, quote, superhero caricature that you may have seen in games past. And like I said, while maybe accidentally, that actually touches on something that I think even the Modern Warfare games lost as Infinity Ward became a bigger and bigger company and released these bigger and bigger games. Remember that Call of Duty 2, for all of its, and yes, that's where I came into the series, so this may have been going on for a lot longer or whatever. Call of Duty 2 featured a really kind of muted... How do I not use French words, Matt?
You just use them.
denouement. Tell everybody what a denouement is.
It's the end where things come together and you go, oh, well, now I know.
That's the best definition I've ever heard. Ah, see? That's what I'm saying. Why did I even use the French word? That was stupid. Gosh. So Call of Duty 2 had one of those where it kind of just ended. Like, you had been through so much. There wasn't a huge boss battle. You know, it was the anticlimax in a lot of different ways. And Modern Warfare, I feel like, was something that got away from that in a way, and in a really good way. Like, people compare those games to Michael Bay a lot of the time because they get more bombastic. And
I just want to point out,
all right,
you go from Call of Duty 2, where you just end, to Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where you also just end in a nuclear explosion.
No, that took place in the middle of the game.
Well, even better. Like, I think that's where you lost it, was right there. Like, that's where your issues begin, is at that moment. That's where Infinity Ward went, we've got an idea. It wasn't
in the space of 2. I mean, they didn't make Call of Duty 3. That's why we're still talking about Infinity Ward here. It didn't all happen within the space of one game. Like, this isn't something that changed from Call of Duty 2 to Modern Warfare. It's just from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Sorry. Dang it. See, this is the problem. From Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare to Modern Warfare 2, and I mean, that's essentially where Infinity Ward fell apart. So not really beyond, even though Modern Warfare 3 did try and ape a lot of that. The DNA was kind of gone at that point. But they did become more bombastic, and I don't know if that was with bringing it into the modern age or whatever.
Nuclear bombastic.
In any event, I felt like a little bit of that was lost as they began to focus more on the action, which was brilliant action, and I still love Call of Duty 4 still, and Modern Warfare 2. Love them. The fact that this guy is now, I feel like almost accidentally hearkening back to some of that gives me a little bit of hope, whether or not that translates into accidentally creating a game that does that. I find it even harder to believe than not that they wouldn't do something bombastic, because that's what most of the people go to this for. Like I said, I'm getting talky about this. Nobody cares about this type of stuff. I feel like they just want to shoot the vast majority of Call of Duty players.
Likely, yeah.
So that's that. I care about that franchise, so I had some words. I don't know. Is this tickling your intermittent Call of Duty?
No, I watched the trailer for it, and the trailer doesn't show much. It does everything is in-game footage, which is fine. It looks cool, I guess.
It looks great.
Whatever. It's very like meh. Looks like Call of Duty. This goes back to that, like, that you and I are just different on this, where I look at that and I go, yeah, it looks just like a Call of Duty game. You just reskinned it again.
Well, okay. I mean, on that, we're technically not different. Like, all of that was in my head. I see the trailer and I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's why I say, there's a trailer out there. You can watch it. It does look good.
You can watch it.
But yeah, I mean,
not recommended, but you can.
It's fine. If you want to see it look good, it does look good. But you're right. But I agree with you.
It's not just that, though. It's for me, that means one thing. And I know what that is. Like, I know everything that's coming from that game. I know that.
And you're right.
And
that's not going to change.
It's so funny, right? Because I am that with Mortal Kombat. Where, like, I'll go through the entire series with you and go, okay, well, here's where things went downhill for me. And, same thing. Your interest level is not quite there, but it's passive. Yeah. And this is the same thing. Passively, sure. If you end up picking this up and going, dude, this is really, really good. Yeah, I'll pick it up and play through the campaign. Sure,
I was going to say, I feel like you wouldn't buy that immediately, but it might, like, just get it up a slight tick mark enough to be like, I'm not doing anything Saturday.
Right. No, and I know that
you will be.
And the thing is that is the one nice thing about the Call of Duty games and the Battlefield games. Those campaigns are super short.
Yeah.
They're never like 8 hours at most.
Well, did you see this stuff? Because this is also kind of interesting.
I saw nothing, by the way, other than the trailer. So I know nothing about this because the trailer was, again, the most, like, as passively interested as I can be is watching a trailer and go,
They came out later. I don't know if it was in the same interview, but they talked about there being crossplay. So between PC and consoles, they listed. And no traditional quote unquote season pass with no follow-up details about how they're going to actually make money. You know,
what is a non-traditional season pass? I can't wait to find out. Tell me, Infinity Ward.
No zombies, which may technically not mean no mode like zombies, because I feel like Advanced Warfare, which we didn't have zombies, but it had survival, or it had like the equivalent type thing.
Yeah.
It had a third pillar, let's put it this way. I don't know if they're saying no third thing at all or just it's not zombies, so whatever. And then the single player directly leads into whatever the co-op multiplayer is. And if it's Spec Ops, I'm buying it day one. So I don't know. That's a thing.
Again, man, look.
Fair enough. October 25th.
No, this is funny because this is the opposite direction that this usually goes. Because usually I'm the one that's like, oh man, get this game, and then I'm like, okay, I liked it. I just can't grind the achievements out like you want, and I don't want to play it now. But this is like the opposite thing where like you get the game, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, I might pick that up because Spec Ops was supposed to be fun. I only did it like once or twice, like not more than a handful of times.
Didn't dive into that?
No,
man.
Because I didn't have it. Like I didn't want to play it by myself. It wasn't as interesting. But
less fun, sure.
So yeah, I could probably be persuaded.
Okay, will Matt spec my ops? We'll find out.
Woo.
Death Stranding, last of the big O's here. Did you certainly watch the trailer because you sent it to me, and then I watched it mere moments ago. But we got some gameplay details. We got a statement from Kojima himself here. Quote, people have created, speaking about the game and what it is, people have created walls and become accustomed to living in isolation. Death Stranding is a completely new type of action game where the goal of the player is to reconnect isolated cities in a fragmented society. It is created so that all elements, including the story and gameplay, are bound together by the theme of the quote-unquote strand or connection. As Sam Porter Bridges, there's a name for you. You will attempt to bridge the divides in society and in doing create new bonds or quote-unquote strands with other players around the globe. Through your experience playing the game, I hope you'll come to understand the true importance of forging connections with others.
Yeah, this game is like, it's Watch Dogs, but Kojima style.
Yeah, I could get that feel. You know the game I got the most flashbacks to watching that gameplay? And it's a game I never played, so...
Was it the one with the arc? No. The one with the
art in it, yes.
Bow and arrows and the dinosaurs that are metal or whatever? Was that game?
Horizon Zero Dawn?
That's it.
No.
Okay.
I didn't play that one either. I didn't play this one. And no, mine is much more obvious. Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, sure. Sure.
And,
I mean, obviously.
Well, yeah, but from what I know of Metal Gear Solid 5, how it differed from the games, even the Metal Gear games before it, is in its openness. Like, supposedly the systems are just on full tilt in that game, right?
Dude, it is really complicated.
Right, okay.
I actually played it to a point where I was like, I don't know how to play this. like it was that, like, there were so many things, and then the game is like there's so many, it's so much, and yeah, the openness is crazy. It's nuts how you're going to just go to different things and you're going to mark people and you're going to go and ride your horse and you got to deal with weird phantom dudes, and then there's the crazy why are you not wearing any clothing lady, but she's a sniper and she's cool. And
well, I think you answered your own question.
Well, yeah, and her name is Quiet, so there's that.
Sure it is. Yeah, no, just watching Norman Reedus walk around the world, and there's like a ladder you can use, and he's putting it on stuff, and he's using a spike for some other stuff. It just gave me the feeling that there's going to be an openness to that that's kind of reminiscent of Metal Gear 5 in that way, which, I mean, it should be. Like, he should definitely keep building on what I hear are the greatest parts of that game.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Everything else, you got a bunch of story in there. Anything else you thought was fun, weird, crazy?
Yeah, it's definitely a weird-looking game for sure. I think that the collector's edition, this is one of those ones where I almost want to get that strictly. I don't even care if the game is good. It's less to do with that and more that that's something that I would actually display somewhere. Have you seen it?
All that he wants, folks.
Have you seen the box?
Is another baby.
Yeah, it's basically the baby thing that Reedus carries around throughout the game.
Basically.
Yeah, it's just not living yet.
No, you're not seeing the sign.
I'm not, but I'm not a big fan of, wait, who was that? Ace of Base.
Aren't they Swedish or something?
They are. but you said the sign and bass. So I was putting it all together, and I assumed that that's what you were talking about.
This is our attempt at being weird like Death Stranding.
Is that the way you were connecting it, and then I just figured it out in a different way?
Connections?
Strands,
see?
even?
It's my hope that you'll see.
Okay, let me ask you a question about this trailer. So because it did have it had story, it had like we got to see what was going on. What was your reaction? Like, are you tantalized? Are you interested? Is it?
It's the reaction of the show at this point. This looks amazing. There's no way I'll have time to play all of this.
See, okay, I think it looks, in terms of visuals, looks great. Yeah. Everything I saw from the action, the movement, all the gameplay, I could not be like, I was.
Oh, really?
I was way more meh about seeing that than I thought I would be. Like, I thought I was going to be really into it based on that early trailer where it was Redis, and then there were all the weird demon things, and the people were all around, and there was that they were trying to get to, like, they had a vehicle there, and all these people ended up getting picked off because they were moving. Do you remember this? We saw it. I think it was one of the games.
In a
I
way,
don't know what that was, but I'm guessing it's a section here. But I wanted, I don't know. I wanted more of that, and this is just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I expected, and I built myself up for failure.
You don't know what you expected. You didn't get it. Whatever it was, I think I understand. I mean, in a way, you're pulling on, I feel like, the least knowable aspect also, because yes, the gameplay looks, and probably, I have to say probably, is, when you get down to it, not life-changing, like there's going to be some familiarity to that. It's a third-person action game still, probably no matter what. And I see that, and it did look very deliberate. Like, I mean, there is an openness to it. It's going to be some of that some downtime while you figure some stuff out. Whether or not that plays, I think that's one of the unknowables. Sure. You got to have that in your hand. But also, it's like the thing I kind of care about the least. Like, I care about this guy's creativity. Like, I care about the guy whose name I can't remember, and the guy who did Rugrats, and he did the Aeon Flux.
Yes,
like that.
Peter Chung.
That animator. Is that really it?
Peter Chung did Aeon Flux. I don't remember him doing Rugrats.
Yeah, same dude. Let me check it out though. Peter Chung. Peter Chung is a Korean-American animator. He's best known for his youth-style anime as a creator of Aeon Flux and Reign the Conqueror. Okay, come on. Tell me he also did Rugrats. Tell me that wasn't something I made up. If that's something I made up, I should be lauded for my creativity.
He co-designed the characters on Rugrats.
Right, I mean, I'm sure he wasn't.
And he directed the pilot, Tommy Pickles and the Great White Thing, and the opening sequence.
He was in there somewhere. I mean, if you look at the animation too, like there's definite similarities.
Yeah. Well, he did. There you go.
In any event, I'm into this stuff like I'm into his stuff. Like, I just want to see anything he does because it's always just so weirdly creative. Like Aeon Flux to this day. Like, you remember when it came on Liquid Television? You're just like, what is happening,
No, I was
man?
so into that. I was like blown away by it. And I remember when Xbox Live Video first became available, the first thing I ended up downloading, and because I think it was free, was the first season of Aeon Flux. I obviously still have it.
So Kojima is one of those. Like, I'm into like the bridge babies.
He's the Wes
you plug
Anderson,
into,
so to speak.
Oh, I mean,
I guess
I see where you're going.
That's more of a visual. Hold on, let me think here. He's the David Cronenberg.
Yes, you are naming people that are. He's one of those. He is one of those. He's a visionary.
An
like,
auteur.
He's a dude that, yes, he certainly is. Auteur and auteur or whatever. Again, that's two French words for the same show. Like,
we can get a third one. I believe
the limit was 0. But no, all of that stuff that came out, that's the stuff I would want to know more about. So yeah, I mean, the gameplay.
Yeah, I want to know more about it. I'm not passing any judgment. I'm just saying, based on what I saw there, I've tempered where I'm at with the game.
You got bad guys wearing masks on masks. Did you catch that?
Yeah. Watch
it,
out.
Like, takes off the skull thing and there's another mask underneath. You're like, why is there two?
It's always the best.
I'm interested in like whatever, that's the stuff from Metal Gear also that I always like to hear about the most. Even though I've never played a single one so far. That's November 8th, 2019 though, this year even. that's all I got. That's 0 hit points, everybody.
Okay.
I think we did it.
Well, maybe next week we'll have more games.
We will. Surely I will create that schedule of mine.
I will have the game Badminton, and I will have the game Mowing the Lawn.
One of those sounds more entertaining than the other.
Mowing the Lawn's
Which one
fun.
might surprise you?
It's pretty fun. It's loud. You get to listen to music.
Badminton, yeah.
Badminton.
I am the loudest badminton player I know. You're not far off.
I'd like to see that. Just hearing you screaming like it's like you're playing curling.
Lots of screaming. Lots of grunts.
Oh, yeah. If you're not playing badminton like you play tennis, you're not playing it right.
Like John McEnroe, essentially.
That's right. Get angry all the time.
Get angry, everybody. At 0 hit points, we're on the internet at 0hitpoints.com. We are on the Facebooks and the Twitter and the Instagrams. You can find us just all over the place. Podcast at 0hitpoints.com if you want to tell us literally anything. Come back Thursday. We are watching and doing a show. Sorry, we've already watched, but we'll talk about Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch.
The Netflix original. So
Bandersnatch.
Definitely check it out. I think I have more notes on this movie than any movie we've ever done so far.
That is lunacy. Absolute lunacy right now, hearing those words.
Yeah, so tune into whatever that ends up being.
You were going to have so much more to say about that than I
If you liked hearing me get talky about Call of Duty, you're going to love what I have to say about Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch!
So, Thursday. See you guys.
You like dags?